Audio Jungle.
All right, this is my fault. All right. Hey, this is the CSRN podcast, our week in review, where we come to you live. We're streaming live from my branch library, and we talk about the things that we've done last week, some of the things that we're working on right now, and a few things that's coming up in the future. What we're going to do, and this is how I help Jody, we're going to play our intro video. That way you can like, share, and comment. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. collectively we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, welcome back. This is the CSRN podcast, a week in review, streaming live from Mount Brent's library. Let's get into some introductions, and then we'll have our mission statement, our guiding principles. Who am I? I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. And on July 4th, we celebrated the 95th year of the Nation of Islam. I've been an active and registered member since 1991. It's like 34 years. Man, I must have. Yeah, I must have registered when I was 2. All right, but anyway, what am I wearing today? I've got my Dragon Ball. I've got my Dragon Ball Z shirt on, and this is well, I'll tell you about that a little bit later. I've got my beads, my white hat. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. We can't forget where we come from, and we're going to act like we never left. And we're doing this for the protest community and the activist culture, creating a table where we can speak truth to power, no matter whom or what. And it is what it is. I said what I said. But we got a dynamite lineup today. I want to just go ahead, finish up my intros, and then throw it to Jody. If you can do your intro, get into the mission statement. I'll back you up with the guiding principles, and we can get to the most important part. All right. But you're too busy texting. Who are you texting? We're live.
Sure, we got viewers like I do each and every single week.
Okay, all right. I'm like, what was that? What did you just put you up? What was that?
Email spam.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer and the multimedia guy. So you probably have about 400 requests, like, emails and stuff. That's why I'm always on my phone, and I love explaining that to people because we are grassroots. I don't take blood money from anybody. Again, that's why they made me the treasurer. They haven't been audited yet or anything like that. So thank you again for tuning in once this week. Sometimes we're off for the week, and happy Freedom Weekend. That's the best I'm going to call it to everybody out there. And as Brother Washington was saying,
okay. You just messed me up.
You guys just celebrated.
Oh, the Nation of Islam celebrated 95 years, all right, being in existence.
And I just celebrated 8 years of creating art, traveling the world, having my brand be everywhere from Paris to Japan to Canada, Grand Canyon. Anywhere you've seen me fly over the last 8 years, I am tagged somewhere.
I think that's a flex right there. I ain't been nowhere. All right, I ain't been no damn where. Bowling Green, that's it. Damn.
I still have artwork in the Heidelberg Museum. If you go to Detroit, you can see my little sigil there somewhere on the tree. I have to go back up there one day because I think there has been some new emplacements and everything like that. And again, the reason why we describe ourselves, because we're not just voices on air. We do realize that you can see us live right now at the moment. Unfortunately, Facebook will be gone in 30 days, but you got YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube, which will remind you at the end of the show. And we also have Spotify. And on there, of course, there's a time when you're taking kids to camps, as we were speaking about, and all that good stuff, or sports and stuff like that. It's summertime. If you live in a city with a river on it, they might be having a music thing or a park or something like that. So we want you to know these are the actual voices that you're listening to. The melanin in our skin isn't just because of a paycheck or something like that. So
Man, well, I know we're going to get canceled today. Yeah, we ain't even got paid yet.
But if you ever tend to lose us, just look at the board behind you and see if you can find something interesting. But I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in crystals and tattoos and stones and bones and artifacts from doing this for the last 10 years, writing books, doing stage plays. Finally, we have a date for our Sony Disney movie that's coming out, and can't wait to do the watch party for that. And, you know, enjoying myself and taking breaks when I need to. I'm actually about to go back on a taxable after a 7-month hiatus. And I'm, you know, a little pensive about having somebody tell me I got to clock in and everything, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the experience of life, and I hope that you are. My thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in Texas right now.
That's what's up.
The flash flooding and again, camps, as we were talking about, which we'll be talking about, has been one of the reasons why I've been off social media for the past 48 hours and all that good stuff. How do you get here, though? How do you take your idea, your dream, and just, you know, go out there with a whole bunch of people who also have ideas and dreams and are the main character in their story and not crumble? Not say, well, you know I liked trees, but bamboo is better, so I'm just going to go with the bamboo people. No, I like trees. I'm going to go hug a tree. I don't need bamboo.
I have no idea what that means, family.
Well, think of it as an analogy as distracting. So you like shoelaces. Okay. Doesn't matter what color. All right. But there'll be this group that's like, you know, we like shoelaces, but only if they're black. Like, I like all shoelaces. I don't care what they are, as long as they match my mood right now. They're like, no.
Okay, I got that.
We only like black. So you let those people that only like black go off and, you know, make some Air Force Ones and stuff like that.
Oh, man, okay. I know I ain't getting out this parking lot tonight. All right.
But if you are there, these are just some of the steps, whether it be in activism or in cooking or starting a nonprofit or writing a book or creating some art. Most of the artists you see in museums right now never got the appreciation they deserved when they were alive. So this is how you could do it with a mission statement
and guiding principles,
which is like the walls and foundation. Yeah. Because if you, what is that saying? Believe in nothing, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah.
Something like that. You know, somebody said that. But we are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, yes, most often, police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity must end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable, yes, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
All right, and you talked about this is our
going into
10 years.
10 years, going into 11, a few more months, around election season.
Right. So hopefully we have some Black Lives Matter moments, some of those things that we've experienced over 10 years that kind of stand out. That could be our scholarship award or one of our political forums, whatever it is. There's some things that we've done that stand out. Hopefully we get to that. What I'm going to read are our guiding principles. We got these from the Movement for Black Lives convening. This was back in 2015 when a group of young people, no one under 40. I was the oldest person there. But they gave a new roadmap of how we advocate for all, because most times we will only advocate for straight Christian Black men. If it's a woman, we'd have to, if it's anybody else, we're like, and this really taught us that it's up to all of us. If we're going to fight for one, we fight for all. And these are the CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, wealthy Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And that means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
And of course, after we got those guiding principles, we kind of reworked it to make sure it fits CSRN and all that we do. And it's difficult having all of the activists in one place. You have a strong idea about some things. I've got a strong position. This person has a strong position. But if we don't have any guiding principles, it's a great chance we're not going to last a week together.
Yep, we all got data and forms and people that's been affected by some of these things. And, that is okay. It does not mean your point is less valid than mine.
Yeah, but we have to have some space where all of us can exist together, without somebody thinking that they could take their ball and go home. We've dealt with that before, so Go ahead, leave.
We the people.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, let's take a short break, Jody. We're going to come back with our guest. This is the CSRN Podcast, our Week in Review. We'll be right back.
I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. And as always, whenever we have a special guest, well, you kind of family now, sort of, kind of, all right?
I would like to be.
Yeah, well, we have to talk to Jody about that. But whenever we have a dynamite guest, as we do right now, and yes, if anybody noticed how I throw Jody under the bus, it's a CSRN thing, and we love Jody. But one of the things that we do whenever we have someone on the show, as we did earlier, we ask them who they are, what are they wearing, and what are we talking about today. So who are you? What are you wearing? All right. What are we talking about today?
So my name is Fonda Royster, Fonda like Jane Fonda, but I don't work out.
Whoa, okay.
I am the founder and executive director of Open Arms Transformation Living. I am also the founder of Reza Solutions, which stands for Resources, Education, Support, and Advocacy. What was the other thing? Because I look 21, but I'm not.
What are you wearing?
How can I forget that? First of all, I am wearing a fabulous hair hat. Yes. Whole summer vibe. And then I'm wearing a denim dress. Shout out to Roses.
All right. Now, man, look. I'm looking at your Facebook. I'm looking at the website. You've been busy 2025. All right. And also when we went through your Facebook, we showed a memory. I don't know if I've got this, but it was a memory of you being on the show 2 years ago. All right?
Was it 2 years ago?
It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years.
Just let me back. See what I'm talking
Oh man, and you know, I was trying to find all the photos, but I missed some of them. And it's awesome to have you. It's awesome to have you. So you got a book. You talked about Open Arms, and also you talked about your own business.
Correct.
Oh man, how do you go from when I met you? I think I met you through, was it your aunt?
That's my second mom. She is my biological aunt, but that's
okay. Yeah, and I remember talking to you for the first time on the phone. I'm like, man, whatever. She is so passionate about children. Children are at risk, and I'm like, she ain't gonna make it. All right. No, all right, we'll have her on, but she got some Nissan Ultimate energy. I don't know. I just don't know. But you know what? I'm sure that you proved a lot of people wrong by your faith and your energy and your tenacity. I want to start with Open Arms.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get introduced to Open Arms? And then I want to talk about the Reese's.
Reza, Lord, you got me mispronouncing my own business. Reza.
All right. And family, if I make a mistake, that's because I'm getting older in age, and I think that's the first thing to go, or the second or third. All right. All right. So how did you get involved with Open Arms? And then we'll talk about the other business, and then we're going to talk about the book.
I got you. So I have been in social work almost 25 years. So on a professional aspect of it, I always was like the caseworker to remove kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
AKA the baby snatchers.
Mm-hmm.
So when I relocated to Toledo, approximately like 6-7 years ago, I started working for an adoption agency. And I found that it was kids in foster care for 18 years, 8 years.
That's a long time.
Very long time, because you couldn't find nobody to adopt a baby. And you know who was waiting the longest. We were. And the other issue was these kids were getting forced out of foster care with limited support, no job skills. I had high school seniors with a pre-K reading level. So,
Man.
of course, when they are emancipated, if you want to call it,
Yeah.
or kicked out, why are we surprised within a month they selling cookies or selling cookies?
And you know what we're talking about. Right.
Absolutely. So you are criminalizing the victims. Make that make sense.
Man.
So to me, and that's the one I started saying, you either gonna be a solution to the problem or added problem to a problem. And on a personal level, that my mom, which is my biological auntie, that was my saving grace. I was out in the streets, age of 14. I just graduated 8th grade. And prior to, sorry to jump ahead, but
No, it's all good.
prior to me being homeless, I had called Children's Services on my mother. She had mental health issues. Life was just life and for, and I called Children's Services on her. The caseworker came, took me to Wendy's. Yes, I remember it was Wendy's because you know when you broke back in the day, that was a luxury, fast food.
I got you.
And I thought she was gonna move me, right? Because this was an ongoing thing.
I got you.
And let me just say this too: homelessness does not happen overnight. So there were several things that were occurring, but slipping through the cracks of people that were supposed to protect me.
Yeah.
Starting with parents, sure,
Yeah.
but extended family, where were you?
Yeah.
Church family, where were you? Education family, where were you? So she took me back to the house. My mother is very, Black woman got this invisible cape, like we can do anything. We got this. And that was the first time I seen my mother cry. Again, I was 14.
Man.
First time I ever seen her cry. And I was like, it cries?
Mm.
Okay, all right. And because she was broken down.
Yeah.
And she told the lady, she was like, I'm tired. We're poor. We're struggling. I don't know what to do. And that was big too. Like she's being transparent. She's being honest. The lady looked at my mama, said, don't put your hands on your daughter again, left. Closed the case, no intervention services. And a few months later, literally a few months later, I was out in the streets.
So you bring a lot of experience to what you do. I know that a lot of people that work some of these jobs, they've gone to school, they've got a degree, and they're looking at a book and telling the young people where they should be right now and have no life experience about actually going through that. So what is it that, okay, you could easily act as if that didn't happen. It looks like we go over your Facebook page, you where did it say you graduated from or you went to school? Montclair High School, William Patterson University of New Jersey. You could easily be doing something else. So why would you, after going through all the things that you've gone through, jump right back in and help the people that were harmed like you?
Who said I could do something else other than what I'm doing? Because it's a burning passion.
Oh, wow.
When
okay.
God gives you a predestined purpose, you can't shake it, even in the frustration.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my thing is too, my mom it was 11 of them. My daddy people, it was 8 of them. And my mom, my second mom, she took a chance on me. They were telling her she not going to school, but they wasn't telling her I was a dirty kid. I was homeless. That's why I'm not going to school. They was telling her I'm fighting this and that. So 90% of what they were saying was true. However, nobody wanted to address the underlying issues. And I was locked up in a detention center. I cannot remember the name down here. It started with a C. And she had called her best friend, which is mine too. And she drove me from Toledo to Jersey. So, and that's where my fresh start came.
Okay.
So I'm very intentional on being that person my mom was. And my thing is this, she get annoyed with me, I feel like, because everywhere I go, I get my mom accolades. I be like, stand up. Y'all better clap for my mom. I'm trying to not to get emotional, because the thing is, I tell them, if it weren't for her, y'all wouldn't even know me. You would not even know me. And you might think, I'm just one person. My mom is one person who helped raise me. And not everybody got to hear my mouth. And let me just say this too. Adults, we got to have patience with these kids, even the trauma. they're still developing. They're
That's
still
right.
learning. They're still
That's
trying
right.
to figure out who they are. But now you're adding in all this other stuff, being in 60 foster homes, and I'm only 17 and re-victimized probably in all of them.
That's right.
I'm not going to be a perfect kid. I was not a perfect kid when I went to Jersey. Now, mind you, I was only out in the streets for 6 months. I remember when I came up there, and I'm going to shut up and let you ask the questions, but
Okay. I appreciate that, but hey, let's go. Let's go.
She had gave
That's
us
what's up.
stickers to put on the mailbox. You know, you can put your last name on there or whatever.
Yeah.
And so everybody put their last name. You know what I put?
What?
I put freak because that's what I was conditioned to believe I was. That was my only purpose. Currency. That's why I go hard for these kids.
Now, also, this year you wrote a book. I'm gonna bring it up on the screen. That way, we want you to go get this book. It's called "We Do Exist," and we'll just go ahead and share the Amazon so you don't have to ask me where is it at. It's on Amazon. All right. Okay, it's "We Do Exist: Exposed in the Invisible World of Unaccompanied Youth Homelessness." And this is the first that I've seen those words together, unaccompanied youth homelessness. I've learned that word runaway. And when I say runaway, well, it's their fault. And you could just, kind of just dismiss everything else. But unaccompanied youth homelessness, that hits different. Why this book and why now?
So 2 years ago when we met, of course I was telling people, yeah, I was homeless. My mama got me up the streets, right?
Right.
I was giving the generalization.
I got you.
I just told 90% of everything I went through last October. My mom didn't even know. And it's because of shame. It was because of shame. And then my thing is, if I be shameful, I be silent, and I suffer in silence, which means others are going to suffer in silence because I was birthed to be a miracle, to create miracles for others. So again, if I'm quiet, I can't help nobody.
Yeah.
So I just gave them my truth. So, and I get called aggressive. I say assertive. But this book, first of all, you can't be ignorant. Once you read the book, you can't say, well, I didn't know that it was
That's right.
homeless kids. And not just homeless kids, because generally when people think of homeless kids, you think of kids like in the shelter with parents.
Right.
No, it's some of us that don't have nobody. And it ain't just the older youth, it's the younger youth. We need to talk about why
That's
is
right.
that? There is no excuse for homelessness generally,
That's
but
true.
youth homelessness is ridiculous. And then another thing with the run, let me touch on that.
Go ahead.
It's annoying to hear that because why would I run away for no reason into the unknown streets? I don't know what's out there. I just feel like it. Does that make sense?
No.
Obviously, there's a reason I keep running away. But we don't want to have that conversation.
No, because I think once you have that conversation, you start to bring other people in. You start to bring the perpetrators in. You start to bring the people that are responsible for you being where you are. So most would rather not talk about that. They rather keep it on the surface. So I'm proud that you wrote this book. Can I read just a little bit of it?
Sure.
It says, and this is kind of like the breakdown of the book. This is Surviving on the Streets of 14, an insightful journey through youth homelessness, causes, impacts, and potential solutions explored. It says, in this compelling narrative, the author brings to life their experience as a homeless youth, casting a spotlight on a harsh reality that many chose to overlook. And most of us continue to choose to overlook. As long as we pretend that we're overlooking it, then the culprits are never uncovered. The culprits are never exposed. So this is a mighty work that you're doing. And of course, we'd be talking about it if it was a celebrity gossip. or some madness like that. Right. So this is a book that everyone needs to get. And Jody, we need to get a couple and maybe have them for the guests that come. So we're
You better do it, Boo,
right,
because he was there
right
at the book signing.
And most times I ask Jody to break open the bank and get something for CSRN so we can have it as part of our swag, because we do have buttons and things like that. But it'd be dope to give give some of our guests. Okay, I think he's saying that's another way of saying no, Brother Washington. We ain't got it. Well, let's go out and get it. All right. Man, okay, so we also talked about the other nonprofit. I don't want, is it Reza Solutions,
LLC.
Okay. What is Reza Solutions, and is that an acronym for something?
Resources.
Okay.
Education.
All right.
Support. Advocacy.
All right.
So how this came about, all right, Ohio, Toledoans, I need y'all to still love me. So again, I'm a Jersey girl. I'm a country Jersey girl. We have diversity on the East Coast, right? It's racism everywhere, but you know, it's a melting pot. Coming here, child, like I have been told, oh, you look so professional with straight hair. That's what we doing right now.
Yes.
And yeah, I was irked that they said it, but it was more disheartening because they felt comfortable saying it. Mm-hmm. That was my thing. Even with me being at court, it was a big row to do when I first started because they said I was a walking distraction. So I was like, okay. So how are we supposed to be serving our community with no biases? And internally, we're a hot mess. You're not about to make me think, no. It's a lot of savior complexes with professionals, and the survivor or the client, they're the expert over their life. So how you gonna tell them what to do?
True.
Make that make sense. And another issue I seen personally, how you helping me, but you scared of me? How far are we gonna go with that? How you helping me? You not trying to understand my culture.
Oh man.
So that's why I created Reza, to educate the professionals.
That's beautiful.
Yes, because every client, I don't care their background story. They deserve to be seen, heard, respected, and believed.
All right. Last question. You were recently on, I think, Leading Edge, and you are dynamite on camera. All right. What was it like being on Leading Edge? It's a weekly news show. A lot of people watch that, and it was remarkable seeing you on it. What was that like? And what's coming up for Founder in the future?
Let me tell you, that was impromptu. That was not planned. I got a text from somebody I respect, like my mama. And she said, I gave this person your number and your name. Be nice. I said, oh, okay. I don't watch The Edge. I didn't know.
Yeah,
so I had a conversation with them.
That's a big deal.
Because this is the thing. When you invite me into a space, please know, if my shana not get moved, I'm going to open my mouth. And so I had a private conversation with him first, like, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, and this is why. And I feel like that made him more excited, like, okay, cool, fine. But I was honored to be there amongst other professionals in that realm of domestic violence. And I put this on my post. Even with all the educations that I've had in life experience, if I did not deal with my trauma, I would have felt inferior. But I walk in rooms now like I belong there. I can't pronounce every word right. I ain't gonna try either. But I know I belong there. And not only that, I was able to bring up a topic the other ones they weren't too familiar with. So I just want to show these kids, no matter how life is, how hard life may be, this is not your forever. It does not have to be your forever. The first day I went home to Jersey, I mean, snot, everything running down. I didn't tell my mama the full story.
Yeah.
And I thought she was me, and I called her a heifer in my mind because she was like, okay, you crying.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get this over with. What we doing now? I was like, what? But she didn't want me to get comfortable in homelessness. So I am the same way. And again, well, first of all, I like being colorful, because everybody need a chocolate unicorn. But you don't have to look like everybody. You don't have to sound like everybody to make impact. You don't have to be liked by everybody to make impact. And when you are called to do something great, the warfare is going to be great. So I am learning, and I'm very transparent. I am learning to be all right with that. Because the bias in me is like, why are y'all giving me a hard time? Like, you know my story. You know my story.
Right. Okay, so as we close out, we got to have you back, because this could be a whole...
Y'all, it took a whole 2 years to have me back.
Hey,
2025? Okay.
That's all right. Look, I don't have nothing to say about that, all right? We'll see you in 2027, all right? All right. One of the things that we do before we close out, we ask people about self-care. Looks like you got a lot of irons in the fire. What do you do to rebalance? What do you do to recenter yourself?
Shut everything off. I'm very intentional this year with that, especially this month. No, because my thing is, well, it used to be, oh my God, it's an emergency. But if I burn out and I shut down, it's still going to be there.
That's true.
So be present with myself. And because I'm a mother too, being present with which I am, but again, being intentional with being more present, because what's the purpose of saving everybody else's kids and mine's fall through the crack? People don't be thinking about that.
Ooh-wee. All right. Okay. All right. Last question. I think we be thinking about it. We just don't be loving our kids. All right. We be glad to fall through the crack. They ain't got to deal with them. All right. All right. 3 things that you're grateful for, Fonda. What would those 3 things be?
Life, my babies, God.
All right. And can we look forward to seeing you again? And we'll make sure Jody puts you in the schedule.
Jody.
That's right.
He got me.
All right. That's beautiful. I love Jody. We really love you. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank you for having me.
Hey, family, we're going to be right back. This is the CSRN Podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
Canal. En esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. We've met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant, inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober, safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
All right, we are back, and there's so much chatter off camera. We got to get Jody his own microphone, his own camera. It's a better show over there. What we say, party over here, over there, right over here. All right, that's what you say. Hey, listen, we're back. This is the CSRN podcast. Big shout out to Fonda Royster. That's Fonda with an F, not Rhonda, and she don't work out, but shout out to her for being here for Reza Solutions and Open Arms and her book, We Do Exist. Just type it in and it'll automatically take you to Amazon. Get the Kindle is $9.90, I think $9.99. The paperback is $22. Either way, get it. It's a great gift for people that you know to introduce you to the possible solutions for the plight of unaccompanied youth homelessness. All right. Now, who do we have right here? As a CSRN tradition, we ask our guests if they can tell us who they are, what they're wearing, and what are we talking about today. So, man, it's been a whole week, all right?
A whole week.
So, right, who are you and what are you wearing today?
My name is Kristen Moncrief. I am owner of Optigo Mobile Vision, and I'm wearing a little regular.
Okay, all right.
Some regular today.
All right, it's all good. It's all good. They all wore just what we told them to wear.
Right.
All right, yeah.
It must be denim day.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All right. Hey, listen. I wanted to talk about the Vision Camp.
Okay.
All right. How did the idea come about, and what was your view as an administrator and kind of the visionary of that? What was that like with you this year?
So Vision Camp is what I call like a play on words. So I use vision as an acronym to mean versatility, inspiration, specific, innovative, obtainable, and noteworthy. And it came about because before I was in the vision care industry, I had a vision and I had dreams. I had things that I wanted to accomplish, and it came to pass by the people that were around me, the people that supported me, my experiences, and all of the things. So I wanted to be able to give that to anyone really that would listen. It doesn't have to be a youth. It could be adults, but in this instance, it was for the kids.
Right. And we were going through your Facebook today, and there was, I guess a note that said, "Without vision, people perish. Without courage and inspiration, dreams die." I think that was a quote from Rosa Parks.
Mm-hmm.
And Man, why that quote, and what makes that quote so important that we put it on the Vision Camp stationery?
Because I mean, it's something that I wanted the kids to recite as much as possible, and for them to realize that when you don't have goals, dreams, and visions, then you kind of are lost, or you can be lost if you don't have something to look forward to. If you don't have things that you aspire to be, then what? And then that's where we come into play. Like if you don't, because I had a conversation I think with Shania this morning about one of the young men who said he didn't know what he wanted to be when he grew up, or he didn't have anybody that inspired him, and it kind of was difficult to hear, because it's like you have lived this life for however many years and you don't have anybody that you aspire to be, or that or anything that you aspire to be when you become an adult. So this is what that is for, and this is what the camp is for. I want to introduce kids to new people, new places, new experiences, some things that are outside of the norm, because that is what I was blessed to have as a youth. Like nobody ever told me that I was incapable of doing anything, regardless of where I grew up or what I experienced in life. I always had somebody say that your dreams are not too big.
So would you say Vision Camp was a success this year?
Yes.
And right now, if you're looking at if you're not listening in on Spotify, you're probably looking at the podcast, and you've got your whole team here. All right, except for Jody that's taking a picture, obviously. All right. And I see Shania.
Yes.
She's in the picture. And was she an important part of making this successful? Because we're going to hear from her. We got her in the studio. All right.
Yeah, Shania was a very important part of making it special, because she is that young person that kind of pushes me to do things a little bit different, that are more effective, more efficient, and easier, because I'm old school. Like we had this conversation earlier about writing notes on paper. Right. Because I'll give her a list of things to do, and I'm pulling out a notebook, and a pen, and she's like, Miss Kristen, did you ever think like that you can just text it to me? I'm like, no. No, I'm gonna write on a piece of paper. But I mean, she brought that but that's easier for her. And that is easier for everyone else too, because we live in a world that's full of technology, and ease of use of doing certain things is just something that we have to do. Although I'm a pen and a piece of paper type of person, she was that person to say, hey, like, let me reel this. Yeah. Let me reel this back in for you, and let's do this an easier way. Because it was easier for her too. If I'm gonna have somebody that's helping me, I have to do things that's easier for her as well.
All right. Because we were gonna cover this part, and we're gonna have Shania join us. Man, what are 3 things about Shania that just made Vision Camp successful? How would you put that in words?
Her personality, her willingness to just jump right in and do whatever I asked her to do, her amazing ideas, her love for herself, number one, her the adults that she has in her life. She was willing to just jump in and give her all, because she is very passionate about like I said, herself, her school, what she wants to accomplish. She is growing and learning in college. She's 19 years old, but she's accomplished a lot as a young person. And that drive and enthusiasm to just be great is amazing to me. I love to see it in her and in a young person, because, a lot of young people get a bad rap, and we can say this, and this negative about young folks. But when you see somebody who is just a go-getter and wants to accomplish the world, and knows that she can do it,
Man, okay.
Like, it's dope.
All right, I'm be looking forward to hire me. All right.
Oh. That's why I'm trying to hold on to it real tight.
Well, family, if you hang on, there's a couple of other things I want to ask you, and then we're going to take a short break and come back with Shania. All right, so self-care, that's an intentional and serious part of what we do here at CSRN. What is your self-care hack, and can you give us 3 things that you're grateful for?
My self-care is unplugging too. When I get home for the day, I unplug from everything, and I just want peace and quiet. I don't watch TV. I don't listen to music. I don't do anything. I just want to be one with self and quiet. Because it's just important for me to just collect my thoughts and not have the background noise. And the 3 things that I'm grateful for is, God giving me the opportunity to do it again for another day. Waking up, breath in my body, movement in my limbs, my hand. I'm sorry, I'm messing with these headphones. And just having another opportunity to, what I would consider make a difference. I don't know if that was 3 things.
Okay. Are you thinking about having Vision Camp next year?
Yes, I am. Yeah, because I had a lot of amazing support this year. Because sometimes when you go out and do things, you go out and do it alone because this is your dream, your vision.
Right.
But then you also have to realize that you can't do it by yourself. You have to have people who see your vision and are willing to put in the time and effort to make it to come true.
All right.
So,
can we count on having you back to maybe talk about Optical?
Yeah.
Twixt in between. She has an actual. Do you still have the bus?
I do.
She has a bus where you can just. I'm not drive. Yeah, you can drive up to the bus, get on the bus. She has all the glasses. I just got a couple pair today. All right. So we'll come on and talk about that because I think you have the only Optical bus in the city. All right, the only one.
The only one.
And she's here. All right. So let's take a short break. We're going to come back with Shania. All right. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
If you can ride a bike without falling, then you're good to go. Bike Rides Matter, it's a community bike group. We get together for fun, fitness, and fellowship. We ride weekly. Right now we got a Tuesday ride where we ride on the UT Trail. We do Saturday right here at Uptown Green. That's our glow roll Saturday night. It was something I was already doing with my daughter, just riding bikes, and we just decided it would be cool to add the community because we were just finding ways to make fun given the situation. Being that everything was closed down and options were limited, bike riding is one of those things you can do without any restrictions.
You get to make new friends and just like interact with people, especially during COVID. You still like have your mask on and stuff, but it's still good to like see people.
It's a cool way to stay fit. We talk while we riding, we got music while we riding. I've met quite a few new friends and new people. I made some real cool connections throughout the city. Take advantage of the time you have. Take advantage of this pandemic. I know it's a lot of restrictions, but you can be creative and find new ways to have fun, one of which is this right here.
Right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. And Jody, we've got a dynamite show today. So shout out to Jody, who makes sure that everybody that could view this podcast are viewing it, or they're getting upset because this is probably their third invite. All right. Hey, it is what it is. That's how we get our numbers up, because we're going to get one of those YouTube plaques soon. All right.
Oh, yes.
If we have to make it ourselves. All right. So,
and go on Twitch too.
Okay.
Twitch streaming.
All right. There you go. All right. I'm trying my best not to act like I'm surprised. Yes, Twitch. Yeah, I used to get whoopings with those when I was younger. All right, so look, that was something else. All right, man. Hey, no better than Christian. All right. So, one of our CSRN traditions always is to ask our guests who they are, what are they wearing, and what are we talking about today. So I think it's our first time seeing you.
Yes.
All right. That's what's up. So who are you? What are you wearing, and what are we talking about today?
So I am Shania Allen, and I am wearing some Vision Camp merch.
Okay. All right.
And today we're going to be talking about Vision Camp and a little bit about myself.
All right. So, how old are you? Where did you graduate from high school? And what is it that you want to become after college and everything?
Yeah, so I went to Toledo Early College High School, and I got my 2-year degree before I graduated high school. So I have a current degree in general studies, and now I'm at BGSU as a 19-year-old senior.
Okay. All right.
So
I should ask
not
that.
to brag, but
all those things.
not to
All those. We should be snapping our fingers, all
right? But I want to become a forensic accountant.
Okay, so what is that? What does that mean, a forensic accountant?
Yeah, so they are like fraud investigators.
Mm-hmm.
So like they do like embezzlement, white collar crime, healthcare fraud. So they just go in and they debunk the fraud and the misuse of money.
What was it that that linked you that way? That's awesome.
It wasn't originally accounting. I wanted to be an astronomer, oddly enough, and I was like, it's a lot of science with that, and so I'm like, yeah, this is not for me. But then I loved math and like numbers, and then accounting. I'm like, okay, I can be accounting or actuary, but actual science still, I don't want a lot of science. So I'm like, accounting is more so straightforward and business oriented. And then forensic accounting came from, I like governmental stuff and like FBI type of jobs. And that's kind of where I like found my passion, is to like investigate financial crime.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Man, we could follow that. That could be a whole vibe right there. Hey, I knew when she was 19, all right? I knew when she was 19, all right? Right. Now she's investigating you. I should be, yeah, that's right. That's right. Man, that's what's up. Okay, so this year, you were doing something a bit different. There's this thing called Vision Camp. Jody told me about it. I think it happened last year. I didn't know they were having another Vision Camp this year. And a few weeks ago, they pulled the team here. I don't know if you joined. I think it was Kenya. It was Ashley. Amber. Right. Well, Amber ain't here, so we should call her Ashley, all right? Because we don't see her. And Jody, how did you team up with all of these people for the Vision Camp?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how like it all worked out so like cool, like because I'm through Harbor, which is like youth enhancement services, and so they do summer jobs every summer. And I'm like, hey, I'll never worked at an optician, but I'm going to see how it is, just to kind of diversify my portfolio, And so
do you hear what she just said? All right. And I know her. All right. That makes me smart, but just knowing you. All right.
Yeah, so I wanted to like diversify like my areas of like experience, you know, because in college they always push for like summer jobs and internships. So I wanted to like see where that could get me. And so I found Kristen through that. And so like from when I first met her to now, it's like crazy how much people and connections that I fostered through that. So honestly, I would say God helped me be here.
Okay, all right, like, all right. We can snap our fingers on God. All right, we snap our fingers on every damn thing else. I didn't mean to say damn and say God at the same time. All right, so I know you listening. All right, you know I meant well.
Yeah, it was God's plan to be able to like do different scopes of industry work. Honestly.
All right. So Vision Camp was working with children.
Yes, 10 to 14-year-olds.
What was that like?
It was actually pretty eventful because I was once 10 to 14 year like I was once a 10 to 14-year-old myself. But honestly, as a person who is like a facilitator as opposed to me being in the seats when I was once their age, it was very cool. A lot of them were engaged and had a lot of fun. And because I'm not too much older than them, I feel like it sometimes, but like they really did like it. They liked it a lot. And I had so much fun helping like Kristen fold up the boxes, put together Google Drives, utilize Excel, like do the trifold, do that. Like it was very, very fun. Like I had a blast. Oh, and I was also a DJ. I was I was doing the music every morning in Jeopardy too.
What type of have you ever worked with young people before?
No. Mm-mm.
And
First time.
All right, so when it comes to patience, what type of patience should a person have to work with young people?
I think I would say a lot because no child is the same. No child will respond and react the way that you once did or you think that they will act. So for me, like, because I have a 3-year-old brother now. He's a junior and I know how he gets sometimes when I'm like repeating myself. So you always have to just consider, I think my thing is reciprocity. Like if you were in their shoes, how would you want to be talked to? How would you want to be? Because you have to consider both avenues of it. At least in my opinion, you always have to. And kids, they just need a little bit more time, a little bit more patience to help further their understanding of you and what's around them. So,
all right, man, were there some, just like we were talking about earlier, our Black Lives Matter moments, where we talk about some of the things that we've been through over the year that kind of stand out. Do you have any Vision Camp moments that you could share with us?
Yes, so I have a lot. My favorite one would be Kristen's brother, Jason. Jason, he came in and did a whole segment about like utilizing like your freedom of speech, but put in a rap song. And so we had like his speaker and he had like an instrumental playing. It kind of was on like a loop and the kids had to make like 3 lines of rap and they performed it. And her brother, he was dancing behind the scenes and I was just laughing because like you can just tell like his passion for music and he's like enthralled by how these kids are utilizing their words for the good and not for the bad.
I'm surprised nobody called me for the rap.
It was very,
how
very.
How did that even happen? How did that even happen? That makes sense. All right. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that was
beautiful.
one of my favorites. Was her brother coming in and just seeing, and me like because your words are very powerful, and you really have to use them wisely. And through that activity, it just showed like your words can be positive and not negative all the time.
So at 19, sometimes we can go on our phones and see a lot of things that's happening in the community. We just had Fonda come on and talk about unaccompanied youth homelessness. What is it that's kept you, the Shania that's here right now, and maybe not us reading about you? What are some of the steps that you've taken that if there's some potential Shanias out there that are watching, what are some of the steps you think that a young person could take to keep themselves safe?
My steps were really, for my case, I just had really, I guess, involved parents. And I feel like it's a big thing. Like if your parents aren't as involved, a lot of actions are accumulated from that lack thereof. Like my parents, I love them to the moon back because they showed me and they also provided me a space to where if I'm feeling uneasy, I can go to them. Like being able to be accessible, not just as a parent, but as a human. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times kids may go through like certain depression episodes, hopefully not self-harm, but if your parents do not provide you the space to be able to come to you about that stuff, you cannot expect the child to then come to you when there's lesser things than that. You know what I mean? So for me, it just came from 2 amazing and inflexible and willing parents to be in my life to keep me on the right track, and also tell me stories not as fear mongering, but like stories to help me know when times are not going to be safe, what to look for, what if a certain neighborhood is looking kind of sketchy, what do I need to do to make sure that I feel safe first and foremost, So
so for 2026 next year, are you looking forward to maybe re-engaging Christian? I don't know, for next year.
Oh, for like Vision Camp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would love to be
Oh, that's
that.
awesome.
Because it's just like it's the amount of experience and myth busting, because like I think of like optician, like, ooh, that's kind of a different from accounting, because accounting is more so office cubicle crunching numbers, medical devices, like that's just totally different fields. But I'm just so glad that this summer was the chance for me to see like this field is very, very cool in its own like way. And as an accounting major, I can still find accounting aspect in it. Like I was helping her with Excel. Excel is a pretty common software for accountants to use for balance sheets and commands, stuff like that. So it just, I loved it. I would definitely come back again.
That's awesome.
Yes. It was so fun.
All right, so and also whenever you see us talking on the podcast, and if we all of a sudden we get quiet, that's because somebody said something off camera, and we're listening to them. We just didn't dummy up. It happens with Jody. All right, but all right. So I got a couple more things to ask you. Hey, thanks for being here, and you sound great. You sound great on you.
I am so honored to be here.
Hey, if you ever considered, I don't know what it is, but you've got a great voice. You got great presence. All right,
Thank you.
That means we gotta get you out of here before they stop. Looking at me. All right. So I wanted to ask you about. We talk about self-care. We talk about gratitude, but I also wanted to ask you, what did you think when we asked Kristen 3 of the things that she really appreciated about you? And she was talking about how you, she said those 3 things.
Yeah, I'm like, that made me happy, because it's like, with me personally, like, I like to know that what I'm doing is seen, also like perception wise, to know that I'm an avid worker. I strive to be someone who is known for being a go-getter, and my perfectionism kind of like helps to prompt that perception of people to myself.
All right, so self-care. Self-care. What is it that you do at the end of the day or the end of the week to kind of bring it all in and recenter yourself?
I honestly don't know. I've been trying to, because, I've been at early college since I was in 7th grade. So a lot of things that I've been doing is not like the average person in TPS. So I've lived a very accelerated life, and I still do. And I could never have seen to found like, what is my self-care? Because I'm a workaholic. With homework and studying, I don't have an off button. So to be honest, I really don't know what my self-care is. I like retail therapy though, but besides that, I don't really know what's my self-care, because I'm just, accelerated. I've been that way for almost 8 years now. So it's just whatever comes, and
and this question is for Jody. Jody, she had a graduation party at Swan Creek?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I left early.
I think you say you dropped off a gift.
Yeah, I dropped off a gift, and I don't know why I couldn't stay. I guess everybody were on their way. I don't know. Maybe I was in another place. I just left your party. All right. There wasn't nobody eating or nothing. All right. I'm like, hey, let's blow this joint. All right. All right. So gratitude is a big part of what we do at CSRN, because we know that everything's not going to go our way if we're protesting, if we're against this political thing or whatever. But we still got to be grateful for what we have. So when it comes to you, can you give us 3 things that you're grateful for?
In like no particular order, or
in no particular order.
So I'm like, ooh. My parents.
Mm.
I really don't know where I would be without their grace and informative parenthood that they instilled in me. A lot of values from my mom and dad just set me apart from most, and I wholeheartedly will forever be in debt to them.
That's what's up.
Secondly, well, in no particular order, God. I really do believe that certain things in the universe and even like day to day, like he's putting certain obstacles in place to where I can succeed or take a lesson from it, which is very important because a lot of days are lessons, like with certain actions, behaviors, people, especially those are lessons as to why some things don't work out. And a lot of times in college, he's definitely put people in my life for a reason, season, or a lifetime. So that's, God is a big thing. And then I would say third, that I'm grateful for, I would just say just my connections. I think
that's beautiful.
Because for a very young age, I was with my dad, with Aaron Pope and protesting for put the guns down and don't kill us. And I've had a lot of service opportunities when I was 6 years old, giving water to Flint, Michigan, being in the Salvation Army for the Christmas toy drives. Like a lot of my connections that my dad knew that I kind of know now, and from my mom, of course, my connections, like, I don't know where I would be without Upward Bound, without Kristen, without the S program, without early college. Like those things are so pivotal to like who I am as a person. So.
Hey, Jody, we can consider her a CSRN baby because we've kind of seen her. All right. Hey, all right, we started. Hey. Right. She's a teenage OG. How does that make sense? All right. You valid. You stand for valid.
Thank
all
you.
Right. Hey, would you be willing to come back at another time to talk about your journey?
Yeah.
For college, the forensic accountant, all of because that's some good stuff that we may not hear every day. All right. And it's good to hear it because it does exist. And if one Shania exists, there may be 10 more out there. So maybe we need to do a little bit more digging. Hey, this Shania is everywhere.
Now, I want to be the catalyst for people like myself. Like, know that you can do this at no matter what age where you are in life. Like, if I'm doing it, I would love to be able to give back in service and say, you know what? Like, do it even like a TED Talk. Or podcasting, because it's very important to see representation.
That's
because forensic accounting is just people lighter than myself. So I'll probably be the first, if not like the beginning of a new trend is
Okay. And I would love what Jody considered the Shania segment. All right. And we can have her virtual from wherever. All right. Just give her perspective on,
I would love
on whatever. Whatever.
Yes.
All right. That's what's up.
Thank you.
Hey, we're going to take a short break because we're coming back with Jody and the subdates in the 5 minutes of heat. This is the CSRN podcast, a week in review. We'll be right back.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call digital edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. The program has fatherhood classes which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with really being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it, we have to breathe it, we have to do it, we have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a BU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3. BU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change, if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, let's say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So this showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
Shout out to Brothers United, man. Be you.
This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. Hey, Jody, it is
about that time.
Oh, it's kind of past that
machine, man.
It's kind of past that time. So whatever I wanted to talk about, I'm going to go ahead and save it for next week because I wanted to talk about what's going on in Texas. Make sure you get this week's edition of the Final Call newspaper, because this week's edition is Deadly Flash Floods, Strike America. So pick up that paper. You're going to probably see myself and some of the other brothers selling the papers on the corner this weekend. So go ahead and get that paper. Jody, has there been some things that you've been involved with this week, or some things coming up that you'd like people to know about?
Yep. Just for, I guess, in general, for everybody else, that things that we hadn't gone to or things I wasn't able to make it to. Blair, see you next week. But he's still doing his Getting to Know You town halls. That was last Tuesday. Maybe that's why he wasn't here. You know, it could have been that. But that was at 203 Payne Avenue last week. And then we had Martin Campbell's Memorial Poetry Gathering at Wildwood Metro Preserve Park. We had Marie's magnificent 80th birthday celebration, 2437 Tremainsville Road, Bobby Holly Live free concert, And then, of course, we had the whole Freedom Day, Meditation Walk Wednesdays. That is actually going on every single Wednesday, 10 a.m., Toledo Botanical Gardens. And for the things, before I go into the last little bit of all the stuff about Freedom Weekend, there's a reason why I keep calling it that.
Yeah, I just caught on. Okay, all right, you call it. Okay, it is. All right, okay.
So we have upcoming until you guys see us next. Wicked Palette Studios presents Kids Art Camp at 151 North Michigan Street. I believe that is happening now. So that is, it started July 11th or July 7th through the 11th. So wait a minute. Okay, yeah. So it's going on right now. July 7th through the 11th at every day from 9 to 1. So shout out to everybody over there that's doing that summer camp. Tomorrow is the Meditation Walk Wednesdays at Wellwood Metro Park. Let's see if we have a host for it. Because I know it's a friend of mine, it's just my brain. CC. So she actually did just change her name. So C Crystal Shop. And then there's the C Tarot and all of that. Now, don't contact the other page, so you might not get a response on events and everything like that. Tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. is Poetry on the Patio at the Code. So if you've ever been to the East Side, it's an awesome spot, place where you see me at. Well, a lot, not so much, because, freedom reigns and all that stuff. My last weekend, I got to put in my 90 days of being able to tell people I got a job. I can't be there.
What?
I'm sorry. No 45 events in 1 month.
Crazy.
Wait till I get the badge. But so that's where you'll see me tomorrow after getting off of work and everything. That's 827 Star. It's just $5 entry. We also have the kitchen open. So we have wings. Trying to see. Whole flyer. $1 wings and all of that. So hope to see you out. Hopefully, if you got a story to tell, if you released a book, if you got a SoundCloud thing, it is an open mic as long as you are not offensive to anybody in the audience or stuff going on. We would love to have you at the mic. That's Sunkiss. And then we have not much else I see on my thing. We have this Saturday is the Toledo Night Market. That's the farmers market downtown, I believe. Yep, 201 South Erie Street at the farmers market. So I'm sure there'll be lots of vendors and all that kinds of stuff. There is Party on the Patio at Jamaican Spice this Sunday. Shout out to Nate Hicks and everybody. I might not be able to make it because I also have a board meeting and stuff on Sunday. But if it goes long enough, I'll do my best to try and show up. I believe one of the saxophone players there, I cannot remember which one because it's like a lot in a lot. Yep.
All right, okay.
So that is all the things that's upcoming that I could find on my timeline. Again, you guys are welcome to tag me or tag the CSRN page. And if it's for the community benefiting, you're not just going somewhere to get drunk and have fun, I will promote it. Other than that, I left bars a long time ago, so I don't really support nightclub things or stuff that's not really important. As he was saying with the Texas thing, no, not Texas thing, but the massive loss of life and everything. My condolences go out to them, but my condolences also go out to, there were about 7 or 8 murders in Toledo over the weekend. So to the family, the friends, everybody, my condolences out to you. Also, we lost I guess you can call him a Toledo legend in rap and hip hop shows and battling and stuff, Mike Flames. So I've known you since about as long as I've been in the industry at Power 109. So sorry for that loss. At least you're not fighting no more. I know a couple months back I checked in on your live and was hoping that the doctors would actually make it make sense, but you are in a better place now. So 5 minutes of heat.
All right. So, man, before we get to 5 minutes of heat, if you want to support what we do, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, listen to us on Spotify. So that means you're not driving and looking at your phone. All right. Follow us on YouTube, and also we're going to start posting on X as soon as Jody gets whatever he has against.
Release the Epstein list first.
Okay, as soon as Elon publishes the Epstein list. They said they don't have it anymore.
I know, I'm just like so
maybe it's maybe they thought it was a list. Maybe it was just a grocery list. All right.
Just locked them up again for no reason.
Hey, okay, all right. That is. If you want to support us via Cash App. That's hashtag CSRN Toledo 419. PayPal is CSRN 419. Like, share, comment, join and subscribe to our YouTube page. Yes, it's a long name, Community Solidarity Response. Okay, all you got to do.
Get to the first two, it should pop up. I don't think there's nobody else saying Community Solidarity anymore.
No, I think we're it. So once it drops down, click the notification, subscribe. We're trying to get, I think it's 100,000 subscribers to get us one of those plaques.
Low plaque things to where we could talk to the people who's already subscribed to us.
Right. We're super far from there. But hey, we gotta start somewhere, all right? Maybe we ask Shania to come back and do some forensic accounting. How can we get some of the fake numbers? Come on, Shania. We do have the Black Lives Matter yard signs, $20 each. We got the Defund the Police signs, $20 each. I think we got one in the garden. Somebody said, y'all need to take that out. I'll put 2 there now. All right, just for that. And Jody, I think that we covered everything. We've got the CSRN yard signs, but no, we got those on the way. We don't have any in stock, but we're going to get those back. Those are really good yard signs to have, just show your support for CSRN. But as of right now, we just got the Black Lives Matter. We've got the Defund the Police, because we deserve the right to say where our dollars are going.
Yep.
All right.
We might come back up with the wristbands one year.
All right. I think we got one wristband left. All right. So Jody, 5 minutes. Here's how we shut it down. Most organizations, they will have a call to order and have you motion to adjourn, and then have somebody second it and have a gavel. We don't do that type of stuff because I get triggered by gavels. All right. Anyway, they think I'm doing 5 to 10 again. All right. We use creative expression, and that would be anyone that has some poetry, if it was a rap or whatever. And we call it 5 Minutes Heat, and that's off the song 5 Minutes of Funk by Houdini. Shania would not know anything about that. She's like, I wasn't even born in the 80s. Okay, all right. You missed me with that. Man, that's true. Man, I had a whole life before she was born. Yeah. All right. So we have Jody is our resident 5 Minutes of Heat performer. Jody, what do you have for us today?
For all the people that actually, I always forget that you never actually see what my shirt is. So don't ever try and sponsor me, because, it might be covered up by all the change. But what the shirt today is inspiring a vibrant Toledo. So I don't know if y'all can see that.
Okay.
On there. Yeah. So Arts Commission stuff.
Oh, okay.
I'll be at the Art Museum in a moment. But we're only going to do because I was going to use this as an intro. So next week, we'll just have to do it as a segue into either criminal needs or monopoly money. But this piece is called Happy 4th of July, since I was celebrating my 8 years while scrolling down my timeline. Oh, also one of the other things, shout out to everybody at Havoc. I call it Havoc because that's the best way to explain in my head, but we had something going on at Bertha Mays, and this is our second year doing that, where we have hot dogs and bouncy houses and games for the kids, but we are the Historic Vistula Community Awareness Connection. See the word, it looks like Havoc.
Okay, that's okay. I was wondering. Okay, yeah, all right.
So we were over at Bertha Mays and had a great time. I watched the fireworks back there and enjoyed stuff. Shout out to Deborah Sue and Xanders and all of our other board members that came together. I built a bike for a kid. I don't think that one got sold, but we gave away a turkey and a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, so happy Freedom Day. I hope y'all enjoy. And then next week is going to be the fun piece. We'll see what the news does. But let's begin. Peace. Happy National Barbecue Day. There is no freedom here no more. It can be bought and paid, slave traded to the highest bidder, while all of our history is erased. Books banned and changed by AI, rewritten by whatever corporation has bought our school system, and only the rich survive while their puppets sign deals to make future generations never thrive. But I'm celebrating my 8th year in art, the anniversary that brought me through, creating illustrations in history with simple tools while bombs bursting over air for future generations to remember what happened while our freedoms were being crucified. See, short piece, in peace.
All right, and we snap our fingers. You didn't have to say short piece. They could just felt it was allow them to feel that. Allow them to feel that. And what was it that inspired you to write that poem?
So when I went to sleep on I want to say it was the 3rd or the 2nd. It was around that time. Yeah, the day before, the big beautiful pile of trash had lost. And I was like, yes, I got a couple more weeks. And then I woke up and he's like, yeah, I'm signing it on the 4th. So that's also where that line in there comes from about the, where is it? See, I lost my place. So slave traded their highest bidder while our history is erased, books banned and changed by AI, rewritten by whatever corporation has bought our school system, and only the rich survive while the puppets sign their deal to make sure your future generations never thrive. I'm an elected official. That's one thing I never get to talk about enough because people is like, you just Jody. I learned last year after 2.5 terms that when I go through government buildings, I don't have to get touched. And that's another thing that's kind of crazy. This is my 3rd term and nobody was like it. It took African-American security guard who had been there for 2 months to ask me, why do you let us touch you, Mr. Summers? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you're an elected official. You don't have to go through you already ran the race, done the stuff.
True.
So, just that fact of knowing everything. And I have our executive meeting next Monday. So I get to go in there and see all the stuff that this bill, when we said it's going to get bad, but there are people like me, like you, like Fonda, like Kristen, like all of the guests who come on this show and have built what we may have to rebuild again. Our generations that we lost coming up from the civil rights movement, that they kept fighting for all of this stuff. And now it's up to us to continue to do it.
All right. And as we always say, all lives can't matter until what? Black lives matter. And black lives can't matter until all black lives matter. Justice or else?